Good morning and welcome to the 10th episode in this series where these Sims have been scavenging and gathering resources for 9 episodes in order for them to craft the items they need for their survival in this post-apocalyptic world, and ultimately they are going to rebuild society. It's been a while since the last episode, and today we are going to send the scavenging crew on their second big scavenging trip across the map, past the gas station into the forest to see what they can find there. We already know that not only are they going to find resources today, but they are also going to find new survivors. So let's see if they will bring some useful knowledge, traits and skills to the mix, because we certainly needed to start working on some of the town's services. So our episode starts right where we left these guys the last time. The scavenging crew was getting ready to leave, and even though it's already evening and it's dark, they still decide to leave now instead of waiting for daylight. So we are going to send these guys off on their scavenging trip, and we won't be seeing them for another 28 hours, because that is when they will return home to this settlement. But of course, later on in this episode, we're gonna see what they found and how their trip went. But first, let's check the other guys who are staying home and how their evening went, because there's also still a lot of work needed to keep this settlement running. So it's 8 o'clock in the evening, and I think this was one of the first nights where most of the Sims actually slept through most of the night for once. Brandon and Kome were tired from their day at the building site, so they are in bed already, but Christy took the time to take care of the newly planted crops, so we will hopefully have some tomatoes in the summer. And Guppy seemed to be completely unaware of any of his surroundings. While he's painting, he seems to be completely in the zone. So Christy, next to taking care of the plants, also took some fertilizer out of the shed to actually fertilize the grain fields. And while she was there, she took advantage of feeling unseen for a while and worked on her strength by having a go at the punching bag. I think she would be too shy to admit to the others that she would like some training, because by now they mostly see her as the peace-minded person and quiet person who takes care of the plants. Looking at her aspiration with Sophie the Puffin's aspiration calculator like we did in the last episode makes her a hard worker, a hopeless romantic and a friend of the world. She just wants what's best for everyone, and I think she's just generally a really sweet and shy person. She really enjoys being in charge of the food supply, so she can quietly take care of everyone and play an important role in the group without being in the spotlight too much. And I think she is really falling for Abhijit in sort of a naive and hopeless romantic way. And I think mainly because he seems to be quite the opposite of her in many ways, and she feels drawn to that. So we'll have to see how that turns out for her. She currently has the lifetime wish to become the Hand of Poseidon, and I want to change that for her. She also has a few interesting traits. She is a coward, she is neurotic, she has a green thumb, and she's a vegetarian. So I think there is one lifetime wish for her that actually is in her list and is possible for her, that fits her really well, and that is the productive farmer. So we're going to choose that for her, and that means that her goals in life are going to be to harvest as many best quality garden produce as possible, to get a golden gardening badge, which I think she already has, and she is going to provide food for the entire community. Now that doesn't mean we will never see her at this punching bag again. I've also always seen her as someone who, when it comes down to it, is tougher than she looks. And it can't hurt to be able to defend herself, because even though there is no imminent threat now, that doesn't mean there won't be any danger to the settlement later on. But I don't think that we're going to be seeing Christy like this a lot of the time. She mainly will be taking care of the gardens. Speaking of gardens, before she got distracted and started punching the bag, she took out the fertilizer from the shed to fertilize the grain fields that were under the mess that they cleaned up in the last few days. So the grain fields are actually accessible right now. There are a lot of different fields under the mess. There's also, I think, tea, coffee, a second coffee, and cornfields. So I'm not quite sure which one she fertilized. I think it was one cornfield and one grain field. But I do know that they only had a few hours left to do that, because they need to be fertilized in spring, and it is going to be summer in only a few hours. But thanks to Christy's hard work, the settlement now has some more extra food sources that might provide the survivors with more variety in their diet. I'm actually hoping that they will be able to bake bread by the end of fall, so they can stock up on food for winter in the community storage barn. That you haven't seen yet, but Brandon and Kome have been building it, and that's why they are so tired. So by the time Christy went to bed, she woke up Brandon and he started a few more extra productive hours before really going to sleep at night. He desperately needed some freshening up, and luckily there was still some warm water left in the tub, so he took the opportunity to indulge in a luxurious long bath before getting back to the new chores that he has taken upon himself to do. Since he is one of a few with both high enough body, mechanical, and creativity, he is cutting the stones into more usable parts so they can later on build some better houses with the use of stone. So by the time Brandon was done, and he took his sweet time because he was so dirty, I also woke up Komei to do a few hours of crafting before midnight. Most of the materials that they have crafted so far were for this settlement that they live in right now, but in order to be able to build and furnish the new cabins for the new families to live in, those cabins also need to have furniture and tools and stuff to function. So that is what they're going to craft now, and that is what Komei is going to focus on. So he will spend a few hours in Abhijit's shed now that Abhijit is gone. He's gone with the scavenging crew. Komei is going to take over and craft furniture, tools, and other items that might be useful for these new houses. A little later, also Melissa joined him because she also needs to work on her mechanical skill. She has been drafting a few new ideas that she wants to try out. Since she is not a woodcutter or a scavenger or a creative or academic sim, she is a miner. Miners mostly need strength to work in the mines, but also develop skills to process the resources that they've gathered into usable items for the community, like crafting materials. We've also seen Melissa when she was tinkering with the appliance because she was convinced that the motor inside the thing will help them construct a wind turbine, and it might actually do that in the future. Overall, I think when Melissa wants something, she can be very determined to get it. I think she is very headstrong, independent, and might be a bit self-centered, or she at least keeps to herself. Unless she wants something from someone, then she will engage with others. First and foremost, she is a public enemy. Second, she has serial romances. And third, she is a hedonist. It's not that she has commitment issues when it comes to romantic relationships. I think she just doesn't see the point of a long-lasting relationship. She's perfectly comfortable on her own. She enjoys flirting and having fun for a while, but then she goes back to being content by herself. So it's unlikely she would pursue a relationship, but I do see her picking one of the guys she likes most and trying to start something there. Her and Komei have been working in the shed side by side without exchanging many words, and it's a comfortable silence that they both enjoy very much, so this might lead to something later on. Komei is very much attracted to Melissa, except for Brandon, who he's been working with daily. His highest relationship score is with Melissa, and they have two bolts together, so I think he will be very flattered when Melissa will start flirting with him. And I think he misinterprets her keeping to herself as being focused on work and mistakes that for being a hard worker, just like him, and he admires that. But he might be wrong about it, since her intentions are so much different than his. When she has an idea on her mind, she will use the nightly hours when others are asleep or away to put her ideas to paper, but she's not very keen on talking about it or sharing her ideas with the others. Her hobby is tinkering, and she does really enjoy working with her hands. She has adjusted to the circumstances better than most others, and she keeps her mind occupied by working hard. Working on the building crew also really seems to suit her, so we are going to keep her in that job for now. In the future, I can totally see her developing a very practical role in the community by repairing anything that needs repairing. Right now, she has the lifetime wish to repair or restore 50 cars, and although I can totally see her as a car mechanic, I very much doubt that they are going to find 50 old cars in the surrounding area, so we are going to change that. And also because I have someone else in mind who is going to be the actual car mechanic. So we are going to give her the lifetime wish to be the master of repairs, which is going to give her the new lifetime wish to repair 200 objects. And this is something that she can totally combine with the thing that I have in mind for her in the future, because I actually want her to run a shop together with her future husband, where they sell the items that they have collected themselves, the resources that they have collected themselves and have turned crafted into items. So tools and stuff, like a tool shop is probably what they're going to run. And even though I said she isn't looking for a relationship, the circumstances of their life and the rules of this challenge dictate that a sim can only move out of the settlement and start a household and a shop when they are married. So that is why. And we'll have to see how this public enemy wanting serial romances and mostly thinking of herself in her pursuit of pleasure is going to deal with that kind of life. So it's early in the morning right now. It's around 4:30, which is usually when their day starts. They're all sort of doing their thing, and Goopy is out here starting his second painting. Christy had the one to do some bird watching, so I let her do that for a minute, but her fun is basically full, so she can continue cleaning and get some food. And Komei, what's he doing? Cleaning. Well, I wanted him to clean himself, so he can come out here and freshen up, and he should be sort of ready once Christy gets the food out of the fridge. Melissa is also sort of cleaning. Did she finish her drawing? No, she did not finish her drawing. Then please finish your drawing. You're not in the mood? Well, you're not in that bad of a mood, are you? Anyway, she can have something to eat first, and I think the others might join them. Brandon was so tired after cutting the stone that he's been in bed, but I think he's so hungry that he is going to get up once he smells the food. And John has been studying his fossils non-stop, so we'll let him continue doing that. He's actually getting closer to his next logic skill. He's at 3.47, so we're getting somewhere. Christy is not doing anything, and I think she could actually go for a second plate, because she will be working for the rest of the day preparing mash and stuff. And most of them have the day off today. So the building crew is not going out. They are not going to work today, so no buildings will be built today. But there are other things that they are going to do. Because we recently got the achievement that they went to the forest 3 times. So we can actually expand the settlement. And since there's daylight now, we're going to do that today. Oh, and Melissa is actually flirting with Komei. I was actually planning to do that in the shed when they were by themselves, but I don't know, she decided to do that autonomously, which I think is pretty cool. You know what, just continue a chat with him then. Or should we just keep it to flirting? We're probably just going to keep it to flirting. Let's try it again. She doesn't even care that the others are all watching. So everyone is going back to their chores. I don't know why Goopy and Brandon are... You can just walk around the... Come on, guys. You can do it. There's a bowl in the way? Seriously? Okay, refined stone, large block. And Goopy can go outside and continue his painting. There we go. So Christy is probably going to spend the day throwing pottery. And Melissa and Kome are in the shed continuing their crafting. And Brandon is out here working on the stone. So they all have jobs to do. And they will probably continue doing this for the rest of the day. And John is going to work either on blueprints or on his logic skill. So this is a good time to check in with the others to see how their scavenging trip is going. Because they left in the dark last night and decided to make camp in the forest halfway to get some sleep and continue by first daylight. And at an hour's walk from their temporary camp, they find a cabin in the woods. So I think by now they would both call the others from out of the forest and from out of the cabin, so that so that everyone is here. And I think that neither of these groups of survivors have seen any other people, any other survivors in God knows how long. So yeah, I think both groups are both scared and cautious, but also curious and hopeful that there are other survivors out there. So they are sort of curious to meet them and to see who they are. So let's see. There are still 2 survivors asleep. There they are. It's Andrea and Marissa. They both are attracted to Abhijit. So yeah, this is all of them. Let's have them meet each other, I think. Now I'm pretty sure that this is going to be chaotic for a bit. And some of them actually had the want to meet someone new, to find new survivors, so that is going to give them some aspiration points. Kennedy is already not getting along with Amin. And I think I saw that Sandy and Benjamin have very high chemistry. Yeah, they do. Okay. I think some of these survivors would, after their first initial contact and getting to know each other, I think the leaders of the groups would like sit down and have a conversation. Like, what does this mean? What are we going to do? How did you survive so far? And stuff like that. So let's organize that. And Kennedy started to fish in Benjamin's spot, so I don't think he's going to be too happy about it. And I think Marissa should probably change into her everyday outfit. So yeah, all of this happened around 5 a.m. in the morning, and it's 6 a.m. now, so it's starting to show some daylight. And here they are, gathering around their campfire to have a chat with each other. And Sandy is cleaning up here. I don't think you have to do that. You can just sit down. And yeah, I don't know. I think Joe sort of enjoys walking around shirtless. We're still missing 2. There they are. Ivy on one side and Marlena on the other side. And these guys are just going to talk about everything that they've been through so far and how they've been surviving, what they've been doing. I'm sure they're curious about each other. Kennedy and Benjamin are actually fishing side by side and sort of bonding. This that does look cool. I think we have real bromance starting here. Benjamin is actually the one that has been catching all the fish on the wreck right here. And that has been their only food source. So they have been managing, but they also know, especially Andrea, she really believes in getting stronger and defending themselves against anything out there. And she knows that she herself is very fit and athletic, but the rest of the group not so much. And she knows that they are kind of vulnerable because they are in such a small group. So she's very interested to see if the others can be trusted and if maybe they should relocate and join the others. And also they, like I said, their fish, Benjamin's fish, is the only source of food that they have had. And they're growing tired of it. It's it's been hard surviving on just fish and berries. They need more food sources. Marissa did start a little garden out front, but she hasn't really been successful in growing any crops. So yeah, I'm sure that they're also interested to know how the others are doing. Kennedy needs to be at work in an hour. We are going to send him to work from this lot because he is, of course, a soil identifier. So it would make sense that he is going to go out here in the surrounding area and examine the soil. It's also 8 a.m., so I'm going to pause the game. And we came here for a purpose, obviously. We want these guys to go scavenging. So I'm going to send both Marilena and Sandy to do what they do best, to get out their shovels and to go scavenging in the surrounding area. So let's do that. I think this would be a perfect spot for that. So we're going to break up their conversations and we're going to let them dig for treasure and see what they can find here. And that leaves some of the others to exchange some more information and tips about what they've been doing all this time. Kennedy just seems so happy finding a new friend. I didn't expect this. The only thing that I did was to send Benjamin to fish next to Kennedy. All of the rest they did all by themselves. So he is actually at a 100 relationship score. After fishing for like 2 hours, they just became really good friends. That's funny. So I think that Marissa and Brandy are going to come out here and exchange some information about gardening and plants and stuff. Benjamin can definitely take a break from fishing because he's been doing that since 4 a.m. this morning, and he can go in and get some sleep. This is the inside of the cabin. It's an old hunting cabin, and that's what it was supposed to be on the map, so an old hunting cabin. But instead I started playing with this and moved the 6 new survivors in here. So they weren't just visiting here, they've actually been living here for a while. So this is their cabin, this is their little settlement, I guess. They're with 6 survivors, they have 3 beds, or 4 actually. You can sleep on the floor here. So they have been taking turns sleeping and of course guarding the settlement outside. At least one of them has to stay awake to see what is going on. We have some post boxes there, never mind that. Then we have the shed with some animal hides and leather and stuff, because that is actually the theme of this build. That those are the resources that they were going to find here, even if it was just a commercial lot that they were going to scavenge. There's also some coffee in here, some supplies, some food supplies and stuff like that. The plus side of leaving a few months in between building a lot and scavenging the lot is that I've actually forgotten what I've put in here. So that will be interesting once we start to gather and pack everything that's in here. There's also baskets of eggs that they can bring home, which is nice, I guess. Leather is actually the first start to crafting some items with that. We have bows for hunting. Like I said, it's an old hunting cabin, and they can practice their archery out here. We're going to leave these here, but we are going to craft an archery target back home at the settlement. They have this scarecrow archer that they can practice with, and these constructions here are actually Ivy's work, because Ivy is their mechanic. So her encounter with Abjit, yeah, that's probably going to be a thing. Like, they're going to be, at least he is going to be sort of envious of all that she's made. And she's like, huh, you have a rain catcher. Huh, that's interesting. We have this thing. And I think she's a bit arrogant about it too. So she constructed all kinds of devices to catch water. She's also much better with crafting things with gears in them. They have animal traps here. So far, they haven't really got that many, but she knows how to do it, and she knows how to turn that into food. So this is also Ivy's doing. And back here we have some plants, but mostly herbs and nothing really edible. This is more Marissa's corner. And you can see that back here there's room for more gardening, but they just don't have enough people to actually tend to the garden and do all the other things around their settlement. There's more animal traps right here. So yeah, that's basically how they've been living here. And Andrea is sort of in charge. She's I think she has the strongest personality out of all of them, and she is just really fit and athletic. She works out a lot, and she has a very high body skill, but none of the others do. So she's sort of kind of drilling them into being more of an asset to the group, I think. We'll get into their personalities and their backgrounds later, but yeah, I think that was sort of an interesting dynamic to the group. And Benjamin, he, like I said, he provides the food, the fish. He is a scavenger, and he would be a really nice asset to our settlement and our group of survivors. Also, he's just a really nice guy, I think. Well, he's actually, he doesn't have that many nice points. I've just always seen him as a really nice guy. We'll have to look at his aspiration later. He is a knowledge sim. And Amin, dear Amin, he is a popularity sim. And a Leo, he's very outgoing, but sort of lazy and grouchy. He is a woodcutter. He is their woodcutter, but he only has 2 points in body skill, so he's not even able to cut down the trees. So they don't really have a wood supply. Andrea can do everything by herself. She's most of the time pretty fed up with Amin, and so is Joe. Amin has other priorities. He has other priorities. He just, he's really fascinated by Ivy and her knowledge and just her appearance and everything. And if he could, he would just talk to Ivy all day and take naps. So yeah, I think that is the group. Oh yeah, and Marissa, well, we'll get to that once she starts talking to Brandy. Okay, and Kennedy is going to go to work soon, but not by himself apparently, so we are going to send him. There we go. He is going just to check around the cabin for soil and to meet Franklin. Franklin isn't here, you didn't see him. Let's see, Abjit and Amin are sort of bonding, I think. It would also be nice for Abjit to have a friend. I don't really think he has many. He's friends with Kennedy though. So they can just hang out, I think. And And Andrea and Brenda are back here. I think these two have a lot to talk about. In the future, a part of the group will be wanting to steer the group towards a more military approach, and that will mostly be Andrea's thing. She believes in building strength as a group to be able to defend themselves and their settlement. She insists on having survivors on guard duty and has grown very distrusting of other people. She does realize that they need strength in numbers, and she's seen Brenda carry a rifle, which has also caught her interest. Not sure if Brenda actually agrees with her visions on a more military approach. Her reason for carrying a gun is really just to defend herself when she is out by herself, all alone in the wilderness, doing her job and gathering resources and stuff, and she encounters wild animals. But she is open to a conversation about how to strengthen and improve their settlement so that everyone can feel safe inside. Yeah, she walked away now. She probably had to use the toilet. That's another thing. I did set up the tent here, Marilena's tent with the 2 sleeping bags, but we don't need the chamber pot because these guys have built an actual outhouse. So it's mainly just a chamber pot with wooden planks around it. But still, the others didn't think of that, and Ivy did. So I'm sure that they will be very pleased with that idea and want something like that of their own. And Brandy and Marilena here, Marissa, I'm sorry, they will probably be exchanging ideas and thoughts about their garden. And Marissa, so Brandy has a lot more experience in gardening and cooking and stuff like that. She has 6 points in cooking, where Marissa has 0, and only Benjamin has 2. So their food levels, well, they haven't really had that much to eat, and they've had to really struggle to get by. But Marissa does have something else. She has a botanicals book, and that is something that they can also find out in the world. But this botanicals book is going to give them some knowledge about herbs and stuff, like how to use them, their medicinal purposes, how to make teas, and all those sorts of things. So Marissa does really have some valuable knowledge to share with the group, and she's an academic, so she is also going to give them some opportunities to advance their settlement in some ways. You see that there are all kinds of potions and stuff back in the cabinet behind the window there, and those are also Marissa's, so she is probably going to take those when they come home with them. Now these guys are all quite obsessed with the archery thing, so I'm just going to let Andrea work out, and maybe Brenda can join her, because I think that's just what Andrea would do during the day. She works out a lot, and I don't think that Brenda has worked out that much yet. She does have a high body skill, but she can really use one more, especially for her job. She is also going to work today. She's going to scavenge in the surrounding area and see what craftable components she can find. So she is going to leave for work around 1 p.m. And they're also all getting very, very hungry. So luckily, Brandy did bring some food, and we should get that out in a few and sit them all back around the campfire and let them have some food. But I think we have a few more hours before we want to do that. They're hungry, but they're still alive. And Brenda is also leaving for work, still in her very special outfit. So she is going to work from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. So when she comes home, it's also almost time to take all of these guys home with us and go to the settlement, go back home. And before that, they all have to eat. We have to scavenge for 8 hours, which these two are doing. They started at 8 a.m. in the morning, so they should probably continue until 4 or 5 p.m. And the others need to eat something, so we are going to let Brandy serve something, and they can take turns eating something. What did I do? Oh, Marissa's already. Well, of course she is. She's already going to serve it. And I'm pretty sure that the others are going to come running. I don't know where she got that bowl from. But hey, why not? Oh, and Andrea and Joe, they're flirting. I don't want to miss that. Come on, guys, get something to eat. You can flirt later. They will have their own moment and stuff later. Just not right now, please. And Joe is still shirtless, and Abhijit is working on his mechanical skill by practicing archery. So that's actually good because we want him to get better at that. But I also want him to eat something before he starves. So let's have him do that. And they can all bond a little bit more and get to know each other better. So yeah, obviously there's not much of a choice. By the end of the day, they are going to decide that the group that has been living here is going to join the others, and we'll have 18 survivors in our settlements. 18 survivors. That's going to be a lot to micromanage and let them do their chores and work on skills and stuff. But hey, I'm up for the challenge, so let's see how that will go. So that's the goal. We're just going to let them do their thing, let them scavenge, work on their skills a bit, and pack up everything that we can find in this cabin. And once Brenda comes home around 7, we'll pack up the tent and see what is left to do. And we'll send everyone back through the forest and to the other side of this map to the survivor settlement. Oh, and we've got a chance card. Brenda gracefully leaps from rock outcropping to conveniently placed rope to navigate her latest discovered tomb. The path ahead looks dangerous and is surely filled with traps, perhaps even spinning blades or poison darts. Brenda sees a large stone she can push onto what appears to be a pressure plate. She could also pull the lever, inconspicuously hidden behind the one-colored monkey statue. What's the best way to proceed? I'm going to guess push the block, because I don't remember the chance card. She loses a body skill point. Okay, her trainers at the ministry told Brenda way back when there was still civilization, she could do no wrong by pushing a large block onto a pressure plate. Confident in the wisdom of her trainers, Brenda laboriously pushes the block, only to release a salvo of poison darts, many of which hit her body. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Brenda manages to stumble out of the tomb to radio. No, she doesn't. She calls out for help. And probably Kennedy comes to her rescue. So yeah, all in all, she loses a body skill point. There was also a different outcome with the other choice. I don't remember. But yeah, even though we have to rewrite it a little bit, I think it does sort of make sense in this world to find stuff like that. Without a ministry, of course. But yeah, we'll check in later with these guys. For now, I will leave you with a compilation of images of how their day went, and we'll pick up the episode at 7 p.m. when Brenda gets home. So since Brenda is back from work now, no, I don't want to save, I just started. Oh, they can actually harvest the vegetables. Oh, they're definitely going to take the seeds home with them. That's perfect timing. I was just going to say that now that Brenda's home, let's pause the game. It's starting to become a little bit chaotic. We are going to take care of the last of their needs. Sandy is desperately washing herself in a bucket right here. And I don't know why Brenda's walking all the way around this. Never mind that. But we are going to take all of the items out of here. So the survivors that have been living here, they've decided to come home with our survivors. They are going to pack up all of their things, all of their stuff, and a scavenging trip to this area takes 28 hours. They left around 8 p.m. at the survivor settlement, so they should probably continue on home around midnight. They have until midnight to return, so that's what we're going to do, which means that we have a few more hours to take care of their needs, to make sure that they're not dying, and pack up all of their stuff. So let's go and do that. And of course, Kennedy is out here fishing again. We'll just let him do that. And once Benjamin wakes up, I think we're going to let him join Kennedy. I could give him one of the, let's see, they are the fishing rods that Abhijit crafted a while ago. We can just give Benjamin one so he can autonomously go fishing whenever he wants to. He's got 3 fish right now. He's got 8 preserved fish, so they're actually adding a bit to the food supply of our settlement, so that's good. Yeah, we'll get into the other stuff that they are going to take in a minute. Oh, and obviously Kennedy and Brenda have gone to work today, so they've managed to add some funds to the group. And since I'm going to have them move in with the sim blender, they are not going to take the entire worth of this lot, but also they're not going to bring their cash with them. So what I thought would be an idea is to let this be represented by one of a few of these. Like, they can dig up fished up treasure chests. Let's just say that these are chests full of craftable components. And we have around 1900 to, let me just fix this. We have around 1900, so we can buy a few. There. And we'll lose around 50 unless we add some coin purses, coin pouches. Yeah, we can have 3 of these. So we'll just put these in Brenda's inventory and say that those are the items that she found. We can add them to the funds of our settlement when we get home. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. So let's finish up on dinner and we're going to start packing. I also didn't even check what they found while they were scavenging. I don't think I saw anything like major, like a treasure chest or something, but they did find a lot of plants and stuff, so that's always useful. Let's see, Marilena. She had these. A chair, fridge again, we can't use that. I'm probably just going to get rid of the trees, but we'll take it for now. Oh, she did find 2 crystals. That's good. That's always useful. And a few more plants too. Cool. Okay. So let's start out with Marissa. She's asleep in here, and all of these notes and potions and stuff are hers. So we're going to grab all of these and take them with us. she can just talk to Andrea, entertain her, and I think Andrea is going to grab these items. You know what? We'll bring the entire shelf. We're going to bring this. We don't need that. Yeah, let's bring the pillows too. So yeah, that's basically all that we need from here. Let's bring these items because why not? We'll leave this thing. And Marissa can also go outside after she's done talking to Andrea. And she is going to harvest the seedling plants so that we can plant these plants back home. And I think there are a few on the other side. Yeah. And maybe Andrea can help her. Yep. And Abhijit is in desperate need of some fun. I think he would want to view these contraptions that Ivy has made. It'll bring his fun up, it'll work on his arts and crafts hobby, and it'll just make him feel better. But also, story-wise, I think he would want to investigate all the contraptions that she has made. So, you know, to learn from it. And while Ivy isn't watching, of course, this is an actual functional object. So I think we can get a bit of extra water from here, even though we don't really need it because we have plenty of water back home. Is that a... Oh my god! They caught a wolf. They actually caught a wolf. Well, we have to do something with that. Let's see. Ivy made the contraption. What can we do? Remove wolf, check trap, bait trap, remove wolf. So let's have Andrea remove the wolf from the trap. Or Sandy. Maybe Sandy. Remove wolf. Oh, she can't reach it. Well, we'll check into that later. We'll let Sandy have some sleep for now, and probably Marilena too. She is going to collect the ashes, which is alright, I guess. But Ivy and Benjamin are having their dinner together. They are so attracted to each other, but they are probably not going to be together because I want Ivy to be with Amin and Benjamin to be with Marissa, who they are also very attracted to. And Brenda's just sort of walking around aimlessly, so I'm going to let her remove the wolf from the trap. And then she can freshen up and get out of those working clothes. There we go. And that left a wolf carcass. Oh. Well, they've got one. And after that, she can just use the outhouse and get some sleep, just until they have to go. Then on the inside right here, since Ivy is in here together with Benjamin, let's send them here, and they can just, well, let's forget about the water. They can come in here and grab everything that's in here. And they're just going to take everything to the storage room of the other settlements. So let's have them do that. So the main theme of this build was really to have all these animal items, like the hides and stuff, leather, related resources, and they of course also rolled for some extra resources with the 7 a.m. dice roll. So it wasn't just the survivors, but they actually rolled for some extra resources. So that is why they also have all these coffee bags, and that was a bonus that they rolled for. But we're also going to bring all of these hides and I don't know what I just grabbed, but baskets of eggs, nuts, I think. Edible chestnuts, sure, why not? Let's bring it all home. Oh, there's even more coffee bags right here. That's really going to be useful. And jerky, I forgot about that. They could have eaten that. Well, I don't know. They're going to bring it home as a snack for the road back home. There's more leather out here. We're going to, I think, is this a separate? Yeah, we'll take this and we'll leave this because it's part of the interior of this building. We are probably not going to return to this anytime soon. We've exhausted it. The scavenging crew exhausted the lot. They dug for treasure for 2 times 8 hours, so we are not returning because there's really no purpose for us to do that. There are some plants out here that Marissa would probably want to bring home. There's no, not the grass. Never mind. We can leave that. What's this? A sack. Sure. Let's bring that. Some dead flowers that might look good in one of the houses someday. What's this? Oh, right. Alchemy stuff. Yeah, they're definitely going to bring that. Another shovel. And I think that there's some tools behind here too. Let's bring these. An axe. And yeah, let's bring the lights, the candles. We might need those. There's another wolf right here. I don't think it's reachable, so I'm going to move it here so Brenda can take it. I don't know if I want to use this, but it would be realistic that they would have to live off of their surroundings. So, yeah. Brenda's also having a bit of a meltdown. She wants to reach charisma level 3. Oh, right, and she lost a body skill. Yeah. Oh, she had a fear of losing a body skill, of losing a skill. So that's probably why. Are there any more wolves or animals? Yeah, there are. They must be timed. Well, it would make sense that Brenda has defended herself out in the wilderness too. And so yeah, she is going to, I think there's one more. Yeah, there's one more here. It's obviously a timed trap. Never mind. We're going to take all of these. And let's just say that Brenda encountered these wolves when she was out in the wilderness. So they now know that there are wild animals out there. She has her gun, so it would make sense that she defended herself. And she brought these home for at least their fur. So let's see. Andrea and Joe are having a moment again, and I don't want them to do that by themselves, so we'll save that for later, but they are really drawn to each other. I'm going to have Joe clean up and Andrea have something to eat before they leave. So let's continue cleaning up the items around here. Like I said, Benjamin is our scavenger, so we're going to give him all of the food-related items and most of the items that were used in crafting with this leather. There's another candle. We're just going to take it. It'll be a bit dark, but we're going to leave soon anyway, and there's still a fire going right here. They won't need this. We're going to leave every, like the larger objects that really belong to the house, we're going to leave here. But we should definitely bring the bows. So let's give these to Andrea since she's standing nearby. And there's actually a bit more leather. Now Joe, I haven't really talked about him that much, but he's the creative one. He's the one that's working on his charisma, his creativity, and he wanted to try out things to craft with the leather, but he hasn't really succeeded, so they still have to figure out together and maybe share some knowledge with the others in the old settlement and the other settlements, the bigger settlements, about how to use all these resources and what to actually do with them. So, and I think that's mostly it. I think that we have most of the items that we can bring home with us. We're going to leave the traps here, but I'm going to bring one, just to remind us of this. But they do, now that they have the knowledge to craft these, because Ivy does, they can craft them at the settlement now. So we're going to collect some resources and craft these traps ourselves if we want to keep using them in the future. I think Abhijit started to flirt with Marissa, but she's not really interested. So we're going to let her harvest the last of these plants if she can reach them. She can't actually. Could she reach these? No, she couldn't, but she did harvest those. Well, we'll take 4 for now. That's perfectly fine. Go look at this then. And Abhijit can do the same. So Joe's already ready to go. So is Ivory. Brandy and Andrea are having a conversation about their return home. I don't know where Kennedy went. Probably to go and sleep. But let's have him go here, and we'll wake up these guys. And I think there's someone in the tent. Yeah, Amin went into the tent, so let's wake him up. We're going to wake these guys up and pack these items. You can talk to Amin. Keep him from going back into the tent, please. Let's see if there's nobody else in the tent, because that will not be good if we pick up the tents. Nope, they're not. Amin, don't go into the... Nope. Where did Marlena go? Gussy up in front of the mirror. What? Go talk to Amin. Come on. And the food went bad. Well, they did all have a bowl, so. And it's 11 p.m. So yeah, we are definitely going to... Oh no. Oh my god, Kennedy. Abhijit just started flirting with Sandy, and Kennedy's not very happy about it. He's not very happy about it. Well, they will have to sort that when they when they come home. They have all the way back to talk about this. Oh, and he was even friends with Abhijit. Oh, he's going to be so disappointed. At least he has Benjamin now, so he's got a new buddy. Oh, come on, Abhijit. You've got Christy at home. Leave Sandy be. Definitely time to go home. Although I do feel a bit bad about waking Amin up. He seems so peaceful sleeping next to Ivy. But yeah, it's really time to go. Meanwhile, back at the settlement, Guppy has earned his 3rd creativity skill and did just finish his 2nd painting. John has been drafting new blueprints and thinking about Brandy while doing so. He has rolled a lot of ones about Brandy since she's been gone. And the other 4 have been cutting trees, creating pottery, cutting stone and tending the garden. And they are all on their midday nap now because they were all tired, but they still have a lot more to do the rest of the day. So it'll be interesting to see how they are going to react to the new survivors that are going to join the group. I can't wait to give these guys their new jobs and see how they fit into the life that the survivors have been living so far. It'll be so fun to see them all living together here, and maybe even what troubles they are going to bring. But all of that is for the next episode. As always, I want to thank you for spending time with me, following these survivors on their way to rebuild society in a new world. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!